Alright. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, because I understand how something like this can come as a shock, but after watching this video, it might change your mind. Now, as we know, Miss Beakley is the secret spy housekeeper of Duck Manor after the passing of Duckworth. But most of all, she is the grandmother of Webby Vanderquack. The upcoming season finale includes the likes of the Fowl Agency more than likely completing their plan and probably cloning Scrooge McDuck for all we know, alongside with doing some other things. And I'm not too sure if I was the only one noticing this throughout most of season 3 thus far, but we haven't seen much of any activity with Bentina unless it was for something where she was required to be there, training her granddaughter, or within a backstory. Now, one thing's for certain is that Miss Beakley is already a secretive person as well as an extremely protective caregiver, but especially towards none other than her granddaughter. So much so where she basically had refused to allow Webby to go outside of the mansion until the triplets came along in season 1. And you're probably wondering where exactly I'm going with this, so let me just skip over to the good part. Just a while back on Frank Angonis' Tumblr page, a fan had asked for him to give out an out-of-context quote from Huey within a future episode. And well, from what I've seen, the only episode left with Huey to be included looks to be the finale itself, as we've already witnessed the Tailspin crossover, as well as the next one coming up seems to only include both Louie and Scrooge. The quote that Frank gives out to the fan is Huey saying, "Cough up the information, Bentina." Now, I don't believe Huey would ever blurt out something like this at Miss Beakley of all characters unless it was something dire, especially addressing her by her first name of all things. And also, when asked just how far Miss Beakley will be willing to go in order to protect the life of her granddaughter, Frank simply replies with a blank post. We've all witnessed the lengths of how far she would be willing to go just by seeing the way she trained Webby and teared up when thinking about safeguarding her. And what other way to ensure Webby would be safe but by helping Buzzard gather up as much intel for the sake of making sure that another incident like the moon invasion doesn't happen again. For all we know, she probably understood Bradford's plan in subduing any possible chance of future chaos. And what honestly really got to me was not only the post on Frank's profile, but better yet, this moment during the first adventure episode.
Former S.H.U.S.H, your resume is impeccable. And more importantly, you came highly recommended by Director 22, and she doesn't trust anyone.
It was strange to see Miss Beakley not notice anything suspicious out of Bradford for decades, despite him even screwing up in front of both Scrooge and the triplets, so obviously he sucks at keeping his identity hidden. So for Miss Beakley, of all people on the roster, to not have predicted such a betrayal to happen under her beak would just seem a bit out of character. And once more, you're telling me that not one person thought that what Bradford was warning about was accurate. I mean, it seems that even the next episode upcoming will be discussing about how if it were not for Scrooge, most villains would never have become villains. Bradford's rant was all truth. Anyways, that is the video for now, you guys. That may or may not be a long shot at best, but I just had to make the video before the finale so that way I could tell myself that I did it. The future is near, and it may not be so pretty for the Duck family. Keep the legacy going, DuckTales fanatics. Peace.